Perhaps with music at some point.
That's right. All right, go ahead and warm your horn up and all that, then we'll get in tune.
Wee. Where am I at now? What, man? What's going on here?
Okay,
I'm
check.
all frazzled up, Mike. What's going on?
Check to check your reed positioning on your mouthpiece. Make sure that's right, and it might be right.
Looks all right.
Do some long tones, and that's something I want you to start practicing too. And I haven't mentioned it yet. I was going to wait, but I was thinking about, well, I'll have you start that today. Long tones are just when you hold a note for a real long period of time, and focus mostly on the notes that are the hardest for you to hit.
Okay.
You know, hit the note and just hold it, and then play with it as you're holding it. So, like you would take, let's say, a B flat. So what I might see if I can make that B flat not go up and down at all, but just stay as straight as possible. And then I might purposely make it go up and down. And do it for as long as your breath will hold out. Of course, on low notes, it's going to be shorter than on high notes. But that's what you do on your high notes. You know, and you have trouble with E. Well, hit E. And then do the... Hold it as long as you can until you run out of breath. And do that up and down your horn, especially with notes you have trouble with. Okay, that kind of thing, you know,
Right.
with each note. So that's just going to teach you how to bend notes, how to make a note real pretty. And also, as we talked before, the saxophone's inherently out of tune slightly. So then you'll be able to make your notes play in tune better. All right? Well, just blasting. So now try it again. And just go slower, you know, and work your horn. Okay, so now that was, I think, your C scale, wasn't it?
Yep.
So on your low E, that was one of them that started to break up. So, you know, when you're home, practice long tones with your low E.
Okay.
And then your top note, your high C, that one you kind of struggled with. So that's one that you would practice a lot. Hold it as long as you can, and first try to just make it be straight, you know, level and pretty, and then make it bend up and down and up and down. And that tuner app that I told you about, that's a good time when you're doing your long tones to set that thing on the table and look and see if you can keep that needle from moving that much. Now, that needle's going to move a little bit because that's a very precise tuner.
Okay.
But minimally, you want to try to get it to move as little as possible.
Right.
Okay? All right. So go ahead and hit your middle C. that's good enough. All right. Now, have you been working on your scales?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Let's do your sharp scales. Okay. Start with the G scale, then go D, then A, then E, and then did you go all the way through all 5 of them?
I've been working on it.
Good. Okay. Yeah. So start with G. Okay. Now you go through your scales, you know, so the next one, and you tell me what scale you're going to play.
Okay. That was G, so we'll do D.
Okay. Good. Okay. And then the next one would be
E, A.
Correct. Very good. Okay. And the next one would be?
Next one is going to be G, D, A. It's gonna be not F. E.
E.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Oh, hey, come on now.
And you didn't hit E, but you did that intentionally, right?
Yeah.
The top note, okay. Okay.
Okay. And I've got a finger sheet, but I feel like sometimes, like at the top octaves, it's off a little bit from what I've been communicating with you. This here's D.
Okay, I can't see what you're doing. So this is D.
Yep.
This right here is D sharp.
Yep.
This is E.
E. Right.
Okay.
Okay. E.
And then if you do these two, and you can, it depends on your horn. I've gotten in the habit of doing these two and this, but sometimes you can just do your your E and this top one, and that'll give you F. But again, it depends on your horn.
Okay.
If that's flat, then you add this, and it makes it sharper.
I see.
Okay.
E.
So.
Okay.
That was your E scale, right?
Yep.
I'm proud of you.
Right on.
Yeah, you hit that E. That's good. All right. Okay. So now you did G, you did D,
G, D, A,
then you did A,
E.
and E. So there's a pattern that has formed there. I want you to think about it for a second, which helps you to know which will be the next one. But anyhow, so if you're looking at a staff of music, okay, so G is here, and then D is there.
Yep.
Then the next note above a G is an A. And the next note above a D is an E. So based on that pattern, G, D,
So
A, E,
B.
it would be a B, correct. All right, and that's your fifth and final sharp key that's, you know.
Okay. And that adds Aha. And that adds C. Okay.
That's all right.
Okay, that's it. Okay. Nope. All right, now I was playing this yesterday, Mike. I was like, I'm gonna blow
I
Mike's
believe
mind.
you.
E, C. It's B and then C sharp and D is sharp. So that is.
Okay, so let's just think about your scales. Okay.
Yeah.
Real quick, so G has F sharp.
Yep.
Okay. Then D has F sharp and G sharp. Okay. A has F sharp, F sharp.
D sharp and G sharp.
Do it in
F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp.
Right there you go. Okay. So then E has F sharp, C sharp, G sharp,
and
D sharp. So then B is going to have F sharp, C sharp,
D sharp, G sharp, and A sharp.
but do it in order. If you don't do it in order, then it's not going to help you.
Right.
So your first sharp always is F. The next sharp always is C. The next sharp always is G.
G.
Okay. The next sharp always is D. Okay. So G, it's going to be the step above G sharp. What is that? A sharp.
A sharp. Right.
So that's why I say do that in order. Always think of them in order. Don't, always do F first and then C next and then G next, D next. All right, then A. And that's going to help you to remember that.
Okay.
There is an order to it. So start on B. It's your scale.
That's D flat.
D sharp.
D flat is the same as C sharp. So now I'm looking for E flat.
You're looking for, well, okay, tell me the things that are sharp again in this scale.
F, C, D,
Up.
F, C, G, D,
Yes,
and
D.
A. D.
Stop for a second. That's the note you're looking for right now. It's your D sharp. And then the last of the sharps on this scale will be, and you said it already, A, correct.
G and A.
So let's do it again, starting on B. Now C sharp. Now D sharp. It's the same as an E flat, D sharp and E flat, same sound.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I just need to release this. What am I doing? Surely that's not it.
You're starting on B.
B, and then I'm going to C sharp. Yeah. Right. Okay, that's where I'm missing. Blowing my mind.
Nope, that's not the B. There it is.
Okay, I'm rolling over here. Oy.
B.
Yeah, I skipped B. Okay.
Do it again. That's as high as you need to go.
That's how it goes. What am I doing? Because we're on the B scale.
Do it again from the bottom.
Okay.
Good. Okay, that's it. You need to work on that one, obviously.
Right.
But that's the scale. That's your B scale.
I was saying it yesterday, feeling pretty confident about it.
That's okay. You just keep working on that. And all right, so that's all your sharp scales. And I'm just going to say it one more time. I know I've said it a number of times, but it's so important.
Yeah.
Remember all your sharps and all your flats in the order that they occur, and that order always stays the same.
Okay.
You know.
Right.
So, all right. So now you're going to do your flat scales.
Okay.
So the very first one
It's F.
F, and it's got a
B flat.
B flat. Yeah, and then you did your E, and then try your F. What you do? D. E, D sharp, or E flat, I would call it, and on this, and then this top one here. So you're off your E here. I'm going to add this top one and this one. Try it. See if you get your mouthpiece to work with you. Get the E to come in.
There we go. Ready.
Have you got your octave key push too?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can go from C.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
You're so close. It's good. Long tones on those. And
Okay.
I'm going to make a point to dig through my stuff and see if I can find you a better mouthpiece
And
this week.
Yeah, I was like, I have to make this note mention to Mike. Like, if you can't find anything that's all good, let me know what I can do, because I'm super committed to this.
Good. Well, eventually you're going to want to buy a better mouthpiece.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. But I'm trying to just do something in the interim right now. All right.
Because when I'm practicing the scale at home, like, man, I know it's there, and if the mouthpiece is what's stopping me from being able to get there, then I will invest in one ASAP, because I want this.
Well, what I want you to do, let me see what I've got, because I know I've got bunches of mouthpieces, over the years, and a lot of them are going to be student, and so I'll just have to get them out. And so the next lesson, so next week, I'll have them out. Do me a favor, just because I'm old.
Fair.
Send me a text towards the end of this week. Say, hey, just a reminder to get the mouthpieces. I'm going to try to get it done before then. When I get back from lunch today with my buddy, I'm going to start looking. And I'll pull them all out, and then we will see which one plays best for you at this point.
Okay.
Okay.
Right on.
And then I'm looking for a bigger, a gap on it.
Right.
And then when you play that better and all that kind of stuff, then we'll talk about getting you even a better one.
Right.
I think at this point we don't want to just push you right into a full-blown pro one, but you can get an intermediate.
Right on.
And
Yeah. 'Cause
probably get one of those for under $100.
Sweet. Because I'm playing, I'm like, all right, there's probably a way I could adjust my embouchure, but if a mouthpiece would help me improve, then
Well, tons. I mean, it's tons. That's why all the pros use pro mouthpieces.
right.
It's not, the equipment of a professional is always different than the equipment of
I get you.
somebody just starting out. So just we'll get you set up,
Okay.
and we'll take the steps necessary to do that.
Sweet.
So I'll do that today when I get back from lunch. All right. So you did F. Okay. So I want you to work on long tones.
Yep.
And even with that mouthpiece we know that that's crap and you're going to get rid of it, still helps you to work those things out, because what that's building is the muscles in your mouth and making you have to do things to make that play, which then translates when you get a really good mouthpiece, you're that much better at operating that thing. You get what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So,
Sweet.
yeah. All right, so now that was your first one, F. What's your next one?
B. And it's got...
Nope, because you did a B already. It was your last sharp scale. So what is it? And I don't want to confuse you. That's right.
It's B
there you
flat.
go, B flat.
Okay, it's B flat, and it's got the B flat and the E flat.
Exactly. So let's hear that.
Okay. Come on now.
Try it again. Octave key.
Come on now.
Okay, good. But two things that I'm just going to bring to your attention. Something, and I remember this from years back when I was teaching you before. You have a habit of forgetting to hit your octave key. And it could be because sometimes you were able to lip it, and you just, it was, when you were a kid, and it was just a lazy thing.
I see. Yeah.
So you need to break that lazy habit.
Okay.
Always hit your octave key.
Yeah.
So here's the exercise that I'm going to have you do. You're going to start on D and do, and you'll go chromatically up. Then you'll do D sharp. Then you do E. And then you go back down chromatically, and I want you to do that a bunch so that you get used to moving your thumb to make it go that octave, go up there, all right? So that hopefully will help to break that habit. So that was the one thing. What was the other thing? Let's see. We were just on B flat. Play your B flat scale one more time, and maybe in playing it, I'll remember what I was going to. Okay, I just remembered it.
Where is it?
Remember we talked last week, and what I used to call it was telegraphing. You'd telegraph your move in martial arts.
Yeah.
Every time you're getting ready to throw a back fist, you
flinch
your
a little
right
bit.
or whatever, and the guy know back fist is coming.
Yeah.
You always, when you get up around that B, and I think it's because you're hitting the biscuit.
Like chicken winging it?
Yeah, you're chicken winging it.
I've been
you
trying
don't
to
even
cut
know
that out.
And I think it's because what's going on, and I could be wrong because I don't see well enough, but I think what you're doing is you're making a big effort to do that, to roll down on that biscuit. I want you to get used to just kind of rolling your finger without lifting this elbow or moving this hand much. Just do it with a finger thing. Just roll it.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. because if you make a big motion out of it, then that's not going to help you that much in playing.
Right, right.
You want to use that bisky because it's faster and quicker. But if you're doing all kind of body contortions and it ain't quicker.
I gotcha. Yeah.
All right, so those are the two things.
Right on.
You know, idea. Get yourself in front of that camera that you got over there as you play and watch yourself.
Okay.
And of course, when you do that, you're going to be a cheesehead cheater. We all would
Yeah,
be. We'd sit there in front of him and go, "Well, I don't want to do that. I'll be on camera." But you can't do that. You got to be honest with yourself and go, "Okay, I'm just going to play the natural, and I'm not even think about it." And watch how you lift that hand up.
Okay.
All right.
Right, right.
So,
Yeah.
anyhow. All right. So that was B flat. Okay. So what's your next one? We had F.
It's
We
A
had.
flat.
Okay. Now okay. So remember I talked about patterns
Yeah.
in the
Oh, wait,
sharps. Flats have a pattern too. All right. So the first one was F. The next one was B flat. All right. The next one will be E flat. It goes
Oh,
a step
what am I
lower
doing?
each time.
Yeah.
All right.
B. Okay, because yeah, no.
Yeah. E
A
flat
comes
is.
after that. A flat comes after.
Yes, that's right. So E flat is a whole step below an F.
Yep.
So you'll start on E flat. And even the notes take that same pattern. The only difference is on F you had your B flat already. You know what I'm saying? Then when you go to the key of B flat, that's got two flats, B flat and E flat. So it's like you'll see the pattern on that too. I'm not going to talk any more about it,
then-
but you'll see it. All right.
So E flat,
We'll have
B flat, E flat, and A flat.
correct. That's right.
That's where.
Yep. That's what it's going to have.
Okay.
Octave
Got
key.
the octave key in. I think I'm not going high with my tone or something.
All right. Well, yeah, because you got to use, especially with that mouthpiece, you got to use your armature too.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, I hear what you're wanting to do. That exercise I'm telling you with the octave key is going to help
Yeah.
you as well.
Okay.
Because you can't do those notes with just the octave key. You've got to
Lift it up.
change the shape of your mouth slightly with
Okay.
each note, and so that's going to make you realize that.
Yeah.
And so you'll see it. Okay, do it again from the bottom, starting on E flat. And that's good. All right, so that was your key of E flat. So then the next key is,
A flat.
which has,
The B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. Okay. Which we're in A. So boom.
good. Good. All right. Good. I'm proud of you. All right. That one is an easy
Been
one.
practicing all of these.
There you go.
Hit that one.
All right. So your last flat key then is
D flat.
which has
B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat.
that's right.
Okay. Which is B. Nope, gotta hit F.
That's
Gotta
okay.
hit
Try,
F.
try it again. That's it. Good. Okay.
Oh, no.
Try it again. Good.
Okay.
All right. Very good. Okay. Cool. I'm thrilled that you got, that you've got that working knowledge of those.
So that's like I just had to accept that. I've got limited time sometimes, but I am working.
Hey.
I'm laying the foundation.
And what you just said is exactly right, bro. You've got to lay the foundation. So do not stop practicing those.
Yeah, we'll
Get
keep
it
going.
until where you can just rip them up and down and no problem.
Okay.
So now I'm going to introduce to you the concept of classical terminology, arpeggios, practical terminology, chord tones. Okay, music is made up when you're playing, songs and stuff. It's made up of a rhythm section, which of course we know is drums.
Yeah.
But it's also the guitar and the piano. That's part of the rhythm section, and bass. And they are laying out not just the time, but they're laying out the chord structure of the song. All right, that's what makes music music. Then and it's that way in every form of Western music, whether it's symphonic music, classical music. You've got a whole orchestra doing that, or whether it's the Beatles. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Same thing, And the chord tones are literally what a piano player would be playing, particularly with his left hand, but sometimes he uses two, to make this full, pretty sound so that the solo instrument, be it a vocalist or an instrument, can play a melody line with that chord structure behind them to make the song sound full. Does that make sense what I'm saying to you?
I'm putting it together, yeah.
Okay. So otherwise, if you don't have that chord stuff, you're just playing. You're just playing one note at a time, and it's boring, So that was Mary Had a Little Lamb. That's a boring song, but. There's a pretty old classic song that everybody seems to like, but just one note at a time, that's not as pretty as if you got the orchestra behind, because they're laying out the chords. They're putting the background to what you're doing, right?
Definitely.
The chords are made up of what classical music labels as the arpeggio of a scale or a key. We're going to talk about scales, but that also translates to the key, okay? So each one of the scales that we did, you can play the arpeggio to. Which would be, if you were to number the scale, we'll do the C scale because it's the easiest. And we've done this before. C being 1, D,
2,
E,
3,
F,
4,
G,
5,
A,
6,
B,
7.
and then the top of it is C again. So that's the eighth.
That's 8.
There's 7 different notes, and 8 different sounds in a major scale. In the arpeggios is 1, what should be C. That's they call that the root. That's your lowest. 1, 3, what should be E. So C, D, E. 5, G. Okay, so you got C, D, E is the third, F is a 4, 5 is the G, and then A, B, C. C would be your top one. So we're just going to worry about those 4 tones of each of your major scales: the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 8. Okay? So like on a C scale, if I had a piano player behind me right now, and I would just tell him, play the key of C, just play a C chord. That's what they would be playing: 1, 3, 5, and the top one, 8. Okay, see what I'm saying?
All together.
All together. They push them all together, and it sounds pretty.
Yeah.
When you take like, so 1, 3, 5, and 8. That's 4 notes, right? You do those notes together on a piano, sounds pretty. You do C, D, E, and F all together, that sounds ugly. It's crunch, nasty sounding stuff. But when you spread them out like that and do the arpeggio, that outlines that key of C, your C scale, and then the soloist can play whatever over it. And I want you to do that on all your scales. So you're going to start first with C, because it's so simple and so easy, and get your ear used to hearing that. You'll only do the scale 1 octave, okay? So you'll start right now. I want you to play your C scale from C, low C to middle C, and then back down, and then you'll hit your arpeggio.
Okay.
Now down. Now do your arpeggio, and I want you to, every time you say arpeggio, I want you to think chord tones, because that's the tones of the chord that would be the C major chord. Okay? So you do 1, 3, 5, and 8. C, E, G, and then the top C. Now do it again, and I won't talk in between it. Do your C scale up and down, and then do your arpeggio up and down. Very good, very good. Also, and I want you to play it that way while you're learning, but I also want you to play it this way too. So you'll go your scale and you go. I want you to play it like that. So try that. Don't worry about your scale. We know you know that. Play your arpeggio in 1, 3, 5, 8, 8, 5, 3, 1, and then go 1, 3, 5, 8, 5, 3, 1. Good. All right. I want you to do that on every one of your scales. Play them in the order. Always, always, always. For right now, training purposes, play them in the order. So you would start with C. That's got no sharps. If you do your sharp scales, then you're going to go to G, then D, then A, then E, then B, and the same thing for the flats. All right. So that each time you're adding that the next
Right.
note, and then play your arpeggio both ways on each one of those things. And I want you to do that a whole lot this week.
Okay.
All right. And in fact, we're not going to touch the Star Spangled Banner right now because I want this fresh in your ears. Because I want this to be under your fingers, but more than that, I want it to be in your head. I want it to be in your ears.
Right.
I want you to.
This is all built into the foundation of being able to play.
That's exactly right. When you start to hear these chord tones in these keys, then you're going to know what to play when the time comes. You see?
Yeah.
So we're going to get this in your head so you can listen to a song on the radio and eventually, you might not know the key that it's in if you don't have your horn in your hand and you don't have perfect pitch, right? So, but you can hear it and you go, oh, what da 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 da. That's the key they're in. So the scale is da 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 da, and you can just listen to that and know it in your head,
right,
as you're listening to the song on the radio.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's what I want you to do this week. That's a really important thing. And like I say, for this week, don't worry about the Star Spangled Banner. We can put that on hold.
Gotcha.
Because I want this to be your focus. So then your homework for this week will be all your scales, improve them, add the arpeggios, and do long tones, and do that octave thing.
That octave exercise.
I want to hear you do that right now. I want you to start on. Now the reason there's a reason that we're starting on D. Can you guess what the reason is?
Because the root C is down here, and then the 8 C doesn't have an octave.
You're exactly right. So if you start on C here, you don't just push the octave key to make it the middle C.
Yeah,
that starts happening on D.
Right.
So that's why I want you to start on D and go all the way up to C sharp.
And just write E.
And do it a few times. I did it just for the sake of time. I just did it once or twice. And do it. Now I heard that you tongued each one of those. All right. That's fine to do it at first. Because that helps you get position. But I want you to get to where you're not tonguing it. So that's going to be way harder. Try it now. Tongue it. Do it again. Now do it without tonguing it. See how hard that is?
Yeah.
And it's even harder coming down. So I want you to be able to where you can do it without tongue it. Okay? So at first you'll have to, but work on it to where you don't have to.
Yeah.
Now do D sharp. Same as an E flat.
Okay.
Do it again. Do it again. Tongue.
Okay, I'm gonna come down.
Do it again. Okay, now did you hear how that top one was flat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Well, don't be satisfied with that.
Right.
Nothing changes. All you're doing is pushing your octave key.
Right.
I'm hearing pads flip. So do it again.
Getting caught in it.
Okay. Now do it without tonguing it. Okay. Now, I'm pretty blind, but I can tell you need to do the, because I see this hand moving a bunch.
Yeah.
And there, look, can you see? I mean, all I'm moving is my thumb.
Right. Yeah. Now I know what you're talking about now, because you're like, you're not hitting your octave key. I'm like, I swear I am, but all I'm doing is pressing this knob. That's what I just realized. That's what I've been doing. When I think I'm hitting the octave key, I'm actually just pressing the knob below the octave key.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'm hitting it, but I'm actually not sliding up and pressing it. So.
Yeah, the way I play, I put my thumb to where it's right there, resting on the knob, but touching the octave key.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, I gotta fix that.
So that all I got to do is just, because on my horn, let me feel your horn for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yours is the same way. You can just do that.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I will. I've definitely got a bad habit of just setting my thumb on this knob, and then I think I'm pressing it because I'm putting pressure through my ligaments. But
But it's not. So just raise it up. Then
Okay.
then you're gonna have to just be careful that you're not accidentally pushing it too hard. But what I do is this part of my thumb right here, where it's kind of at the joint. That's kind of what I've got resting on the
I see.
on the knob.
Yeah.
And I'm just doing that, So if that works for you, great. If you just have to roll it, whatever's going to work best for you, that's what works best for me.
I got you.
But that's not good, because then you're having to make that
Yeah, like a big movement.
a big movement. And again, with those octave keys being up, it's not even a smooth movement. You have to lift it to push it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it's here, you don't have any of that stuff to do.
Right.
So let's do it again. So you're doing D sharp now. You'll do E. Now do it without tonguing it. Okay.
Oi.
So work that all the way up and down, chromatically from D to C sharp.
Okay.
So your exercises, scales, arpeggios, the octave thing. What else? What else did I tell you? I think that's about it. Except maybe being really aware of not of minimum motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, scales in the order that they are.
Okay.
Arpeggios with those scales, and your octave thing is a really big deal. And long tones, that was the other one. Long tones.
Right.
Yes, long tones. That's what I want you to work on. And,
Okay.
and again, we won't worry about that other. Now, when I get back from lunch with Dan, I'm going to look for a mouthpiece for you.
Okay, right on.
And I will try to figure out the one with the biggest gap. So,
Cool.
So, and then next week we'll review what we've went over this week, and we'll focus more on mouthpieces next week. We'll look through them and see which one plays best for you. Blah blah blah. And I even have a pro Beechler medal that I'll have you try.
Okay.
Because it's got a really big gap on it, and see how you do with a really big gap at this point, which will just give me an idea of some
How to
things.
go forward and everything.
Yeah, yep, exactly. So we'll try that. All right.
Perfect.
Any questions?
I'm just excited.
All right, bro.
I've got to accept that progress comes day by day. But I'll just keep going.
If it's if everybody could do it in a week, everybody would.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's
a fact.
And not very many people do, because they don't have the patience for it.
Right.
But hey, martial arts is no different.
Same deal. Same deal.
Anything worthwhile is worth waiting on.
True that.
It's just the truth. Yeah.
True that.
All right, buddy.
Same time next week?
Same time next week.